Hey sis, welcome to Mi Vida, a podcast where we explore holistic healing for the mind, body, and spirit. This podcast was created for those dealing with chronic and mental illness, especially if you're a kick-ass strong warrior in the Latino community. I'm Nati, your host, fellow lightworker, sister, amiga, lover, and friend, and I'm here to remind you to pay attention and catch your breath. Hola mis amores, and welcome back to episode 2 of Es Mi Vida, this beautiful project brought to you by yours truly, Nati. I am your host, and I wanted to welcome you again if you're returning from the last episode, and welcome you in general if you just happen to find me today. I truly believe that if you're here today, that it's for a reason. Todo pasa por algo, you know? Maybe you were just meant to listen to this message. Once again, I just want to remind everyone that this podcast was created as a safe place para nuestra gente. This community that we have of people struggling with chronic and mental illness and that are looking for holistic practices to find a different way to live. So, por favor, mis amores, be nice to each other. Remember to come in with an open heart and an open mind. Take what sticks with you and leave what doesn't. It's okay. I'm not here to prove any points. I'm not here to change your mind. I truly just want to bring some knowledge to you guys that I've humbly learned. And the topic of being your own biggest advocate is huge in the world of chronic and mental illness. Because yes, we look on the outside for doctors, friends, partners, whoever to look out for us and really want the best for us. However, one of the biggest lessons that I've learned in all this is truly looking out for yourself, asking the questions that you're afraid to ask, saying the things that you're afraid to say. So again, thank you for being here, and ya saben, se me portan bien. So I took a little break. My plan is to share this podcast weekly throughout the summer. This podcast is going to be my little summer baby, something that I am very passionate about. And I took this course at my college, Maharashi International University, on podcasting, and it really built up a fire inside me to keep following my dream, which is bringing this message to you guys. So aquí estamos, and I took a moment to catch my breath. I'm a single mom, just here with my adult children who really keep me going. Just like many of you who are probably listening because you struggle with chronic and mental illness, I have good days and I have bad days. And taking this time to make sure that I could catch my breath and regroup after everything that I've gone through in the last few months, it was a blessing and highly recommended. So if you listened in to the last episode, you would have heard a little of my story and how I got here. And if you haven't heard that yet and you're interested, please go listen to episode 1. And it explains a little bit of, like I said, how I got here and what the goal and the purpose of all this is. And for me, sitting here, being able to share my testimony, my experiences, those of others who have been on this holistic journey for a while, being able to talk about it and really bring to light some things that are not really known in our communities. And when you're struggling with chronic and mental illness, it's hard enough to just get through each day. And I fully remember and understand the days where I didn't know this information. And because I didn't know this information, I really struggled. And the biggest part of all this is learning myself. And that's what I want to invite you to do today. Not learn me, but learn yourself. What is something that you can take from this? What is something that you can put into your schedule? And I just want to remind everyone, when you're starting to do the work, the healing work, to really look at yourself and see yourself for who you are and where you stand, and start to understand what it is that you need for your life in order for your life to move to a different stage, become better, to make those goals that you've always wanted to make. One of the things that I have to remind you, because I remind myself all the time, is be kind to yourself. No sean gachas. Don't sit there and judge yourself and put yourself down and hurt yourself, because You are what you think. You are what you speak. Do us all a favor and remember that you are a beautiful soul who is learning tools on how to cope with chronic and mental illness. Doesn't make you any better or any worse than anyone else. We're human. If we're not taught these things, like we're taught other things in life, how are we supposed to know what to do? So that's something that I used to struggle with a lot, just really judging myself and the guilt of my past and things that I've gone through. So if you're someone who's going through that today and that message was just for you, I just want to encourage you to keep believing in yourself. Take it easy, take it slow, one thing at a time. I'm going to sit here and talk about a bunch of different things that you can do. And if you just want to pick one of those things to put into practice into your own life today or tomorrow, then do that. If you want to think about it first and consider it, do that too. But the only one stopping you from making the changes that you want in your life is yourself. So if that message is for you, I hope that you receive it with love. And if it's not, that's okay too. Don't worry about it. Yo me hablo sola, no se preocupen. Okay, so I wanted to start this episode off a little bit different than last week. With this episode, I wanted to jump straight into the questions and answers. I got a lot of good questions this week. The question that really stuck out to me came from my eldest child, my Demi. And I was actually I would say stunned or shocked, or it was like Spirit was like, hey, pay attention with this question, because it's something that myself as a person has struggled with throughout my life, as someone who struggles with both chronic and mental illness. And it's something that I've been working on. I took a whole class on this topic at school as well. You know, when my baby asked me this question, my adult babies, they're still my babies, but when my baby asked me this question, and I sat back and I really thought about, okay, how can I answer this? And I remembered that in this moment, as I'm talking about it, I'm not just going to be speaking to my child, but I'll be speaking to all of you, right? You know, my child is an adult now with real questions, which that by itself blew my dang mind, guys. Me estoy poniendo vieja. But the point is that it got me thinking, you know, how can I answer this question? So let me tell you what the question is, okay? Demi asks, how does someone with chronic and mental illness create a schedule that helps them get through their workday, a busy day? I sat back and really started thinking about my own life, what I went through. As a young single mom, I was a single mom most of their lives. My kids are now 20, 19, and almost 18 this week. Shout out to Nani. Happy birthday, baby. When I was their age and I was a new mom, I was busy. I was working. I was taking care of 3 babies. I was taking care of a household, cooking, cleaning, trying to do school, learning here. And when you work a full-time job, you already know, you be tired, extra tired. So I started to think, like, how did I get through those days? Unfortunately, in my life, I had to learn a lot of lessons. I remember in those days, I really had no energy. I struggled with depression and the physical pain, the anxiety, the hopelessness, the guilt, because I wanted to be the best I could be for my kids. But honestly, looking back, I was a mess. I was a baby raising babies, and I didn't have the tools that I needed back then. So I pretty much did whatever I could to cope. I am grateful and lucky that I was raised in faith and that I always held on to my faith. You know, that played a huge part of how I made it through each day. However, I remember days where I was tired of being tired. Throughout my life, that seemed to be a theme as I struggled with the pain physically, mentally, and spiritually that I was going through. Even as I started my healing journey 7 years ago, even throughout, I can see periods in my life as I started to change the way that I lived and saw myself, that I really know now that I didn't have the understanding that I have today, right? And back then, I did struggle. I struggled a lot, and I'm grateful that I had great therapists and great people in my life to help encourage me and push me through. I think for myself, I also looked at my mistakes. What are the things that I did that I didn't want to do anymore, and what could I do to change it? And that's really what motivates me to keep moving and to keep going. When I fractured my spine in 2021, I had way too much time on my hands to sit there and think about what I was doing with my life and my health. I really made it a point to try to figure it out. So this class that I took on creating a healthy schedule for yourself completely changed the way I looked at my life. I started to make the changes in small ways at first, and then I would add more and more, and I would see the differences, not just in my physical health, but in my mental health. And as those two started to get better and heal, my spiritual health as well, I was able to connect better and understand that we were created with the power to heal ourselves. And the first step to that would be to learn how to become your own biggest advocate. You really have to want to fight for yourself. To wake up every day and say, yeah, this is hard, but I'm going to do this anyway because I'm doing it for me. I'm doing it so that I can be better. Because when I'm better for myself, I'm better for those around me. I'm better for the ones that I love. I'm better just in general, you know? Okay, so vamos a empezar. So to answer the question of how does someone with chronic and mental illness create a schedule, I would say, again, the first step would be to convince yourself that this schedule you're about to create is made for your best interest. You're not doing this to hurt yourself. You're not doing it to punish yourself. You're doing it to help yourself really find balance in your own life. I just wanted to point out some ways that not having a schedule can affect your life, especially if you're someone like me. I have ADHD, brain fog, you name it, I probably go through it. So if I'm not careful, I will have bouts of trying to get everything done at once. And I overwhelm myself, and then the physical pain starts. And once the physical pain starts, forget about it, okay? Me va a empezar a doler la cabeza y todo. So the goal here is not to do that. And this is why that happens, right? When you're not able to focus on your day for whatever the reason is, you're in physical pain, your brain is racing, you're upset at something, or you just got really busy with other stuff, it's very easy to forget to do the same things that you know you need to do. So things like missing medication or not making it to doctor's appointments, things like having an irregular sleeping pattern, being up late at night and trying to get things done that you could have gotten done earlier. That will also disrupt your sleep because you're trying to sleep and your brain is racing, thinking about everything you still need to get done or didn't do. That will create daytime fatigue, which, you know, that truly does not only affect you mentally, but physically, like going throughout your day feeling like you're carrying around 1,000 tons all day. It's not a good feeling. I've been there. I've gone through it. Another thing to add to that is that you're not taking care of the way that you eat at that point because you're so tired you forget to eat, or your stomach hurts because of all the stress, and you get lost in this cycle of not giving your body what it needs for it to work in the way that you need it to work. And then we get lost in the sicknesses, right? And our weight starts to fluctuate, and we're not as active as we used to be because we're not having good days. And it's just truly a downward spiral, right? And things like that will increase anxiety. I know for me it does. When I'm not getting my things done y yo tengo que limpiar o cocinar o tengo que hacer algo y no me siento bien, I know that disrupts my whole day. I have days where I wake up and I have a list of things that I want to get done. And I may have woken up with a migraine that day or back pain that day, or I may have gotten upset that day and it just put my body, my nervous system back into overdrive. And before I know it, my whole day has gone by and I'm in either slow motion or trying to do the work that I do for myself to get through those moments, as far as like going on walks, meditation, and all that stuff. But the whole day will pass by and then you get down on yourself and the depression starts, and we really lack the structure, and that can create lots of isolation and cognitive impairments and bouts of poor concentration, which, you know, as someone with ADHD, trust me, I do my best, but sometimes I feel like I'm playing catch up with myself, you know? a lot of times when we're frazzle dazzle all over the place, we get really disorganized and our moods start to shift, and all of a sudden we're cranky and we don't know why, and irritable, and we start to procrastinate. I know I am a ginormous procrastinator. I call it procrastination nation because I think I work my best under pressure. No, I'm just kidding. I seriously do follow a schedule now, which has gotten me a lot better, but I still have work to do too. So I'm not sitting here pointing fingers at you guys, okay? I'm talking to myself as much as I'm talking to you guys. You know, having something like a healthy schedule, a balanced schedule for yourself, it's part of self-care. It avoids burnout, especially with things like PTSD, because unpredictable routines can trigger anxieties and flashback. And if you have OCD, I mean, without structure, compulsive behaviors increase. You start to try to find different ways to cope, and it's not that easy. You know, people with eating disorders, I mean, that irregular eating and irregular schedules, it can make your symptoms worse as your body is, you know, trying to adjust to everything that's going on, and it can have an impact on your work performance, your school performance, you know, socially. I mean, I know when I'm stressed out and I'm feeling overwhelmed, I don't want to go anywhere. I don't want to be around people. I just need that time to isolate and work on myself. However, you can't get stuck in that isolation. Just like I just pointed out negative things, I want to point out some positive things, you know, about making a schedule for yourself. That being part of advocating for yourself. And I want you to remember that when you start to do things for yourself, the people around you may not understand. They may not like it. Some people don't like change. I mean, you might not even like change. However, you're doing this for the betterment of yourself. Para que tú puedas vivir una vida mejor, más tranquila, sin menos estrés, less stress, less pain. You know what I mean? So having a schedule is going to help you prioritize. It's going to help you balance your activities. It's going to help you remember, if you take medications, to take your medications. If you take holistic things, to take your holistic things when you're supposed to at a regular time, so that your body can physically get used to what it needs to get used to. I mean, we work better on a schedule. Look at nature. Everything's on a schedule, baby. You know, somos nosotros que somos vagos. Not that we're lazy, I'm just kidding. But it's hard. It's hard to deal with everything that we deal with and still try to get through each day. So knowing that doing something like creating a schedule for yourself can help cognitive function. It structures routines that can enhance the way that our brain works, and it provides this clarity and focus, right? Especially for people with ADHD or depression and things of that nature. You know, it's good to have goals where you have achievement and motivation. I mean, your biggest challenge is you. So keeping up to your own schedule that you provided for yourself is really a challenge for yourself. What can I do? Can I meet my goals? How can I meet my goals? How is this going to affect my life? And socially, I mean, when we have less stress, we have more patience and more time to be social and be around people and do more things that we actually enjoy. And, you know, it's an amazing thing to do for yourself. Why not? You know, and it's also good in this to have a good support network. I know for me, I have an amazing therapist. I have amazing friends that I know I can reach out to when I'm struggling. People who give good advice, who I know in my heart have good intentions for me. You know, having that support and that network, it's okay to tell people that you're not okay, especially when you struggle with chronic and mental illness. You know, to sit there and validate what you're going through, and just to remind you that, hey, vas a estar bien, you know, one day at a time. So knowing that this is good for stress management and it gives you time to relax, to do your hobbies and things that you like. It also helps with sleep hygiene. I mean, living on a better schedule for yourself is going to help improve your sleep. I know for me, when I don't sleep well, I start to not feel well automatically. Having a good sleep schedule, guys, I'm preaching to myself right now because I haven't slept in a few days. Well, I've slept, but not as good as I know I should. But like I said, I'm talking to you guys and I'm talking to myself, right? Knowing that Our brains need proper rest in order to work correctly. See, we collect this little thing throughout the day called brain dirt, right? You have a lot of experiences throughout your day. And as you have those experiences, your brain is collecting little snippets of your day so it can remember, right? Everything in life works on memory so that it can remember what not to do and what to do, what did you like, what you didn't like. When we go to sleep, a lot of that stuff is supposed to be erased to make space for new memories. However, if we're not sleeping correctly, this is why it's called brain dirt. As we're not sleeping correctly, that starts to accumulate and our brain cannot release the chemicals to do what it's got to do to release that. And we hold on to all that extra energy, and that's another reason why we end up feeling so heavy and so overwhelmed. I mean, sleep is vital. It's when our body does the most work as far as healing ourselves. So definitely, por favor, if the first thing you want to try to tackle on this journey is finding ways to go to sleep, do it. For me, different things that work is I'll meditate before I go to sleep, pongo musiquita, or I'll tell my friend over here, Alessa, I tell her to play some music for me, or sleep sounds. I'll take a hot bath. I'll drink some warm tea. I have that bedtime tea. It's really good. It's delicious. But there's different things that you can do. I mean, and if those things don't work for you and you need to speak to your medical provider to find a different way to help you sleep, well, just do that too. But just know that being up all night watching TV or brain racing, or as I do, flip back and forth on the videos and on my phone and keep myself busy. My point here is, tienes que dormir es importante, okay? You and me and all of us, we have to get rest. So this helps us in achieving our goals, monitoring our symptoms. Now, that one is really, really important. So part of my schedule is I actually have different schedules, believe it or not. I use my cell phone for reminders and appointments, and I put everything in there. However, I'm also somebody that needs to write it down. So I have a planner and I write down what I have to do that day. I also write down my symptoms. I draw little emojis and each one means something. And that helps me keep track of what's going on with myself throughout the week, throughout the day. I also write in the things that I eat, and I can see how each one of those things, if it affects me in a different way, maybe I'll start getting stomach pain after eating something that I'm not supposed to. Or maybe I was able to eat that and I didn't get the stomach pain, so I can try it again. Those different things to someone like me matters, because you are what you eat, first of all. You know what I'm saying? And being able to identify the patterns in yourself is going to be really important. And it's going to be not just important for you and gaining awareness for yourself, but it's also going to be important for when you're advocating for yourself with your medical practitioners or any healthcare providers. Like, hey, I'm keeping track of my symptoms. I'm keeping track of how I'm feeling. I'm keeping track of what I'm eating. Like, I have amazing doctors that I'm able to talk about these things with. And sometimes they look at me in my binders and they look at me like I'm crazy. However, I have found that most of them are actually grateful that you're keeping track, because they're not going to remember all your information in the time that they see you from 1 month to another, or however your appointments are. The fact that you're keeping track also gives them a better idea of what you're dealing with and how they can help you. Again, it's also mostly for yourself. If you can start noticing the different cycles and patterns that you're repeating and that you're doing and that are not the best for you, that's when you know that you have to change it, right? So, again, I use different things like that, which is digital reminders. Block scheduling really works for me. I'm a textile person, or textile learning person, which means that when I'm learning, I have to be moving. So for me, writing something down makes it easier to remember, because muchacha, esta memoria, forget about it. So keeping those schedules are important, and there's different ways that you can do that. And lucky for us, we keep these little boxes in our hands all day long that have calendars and alarms, and use it. If you got it, use it. I tell my kids all the time, si lo tienen que lo usen, because it makes life easier. So why not, right? So those are some benefits that you can gain out of keeping a schedule for yourself, and really just realizing that the first step, again, will always be acknowledging yourself and what it is that you need. So I wanted to talk a little bit, give you guys an example of like what my schedule looks like. Again, I'm somebody that struggles with chronic pain, as I fractured my back and I have fibromyalgia. So not every day looks exactly the same for me. And like I said earlier, yes, I do get on myself when I don't follow my schedule the way I want to. However, I've learned through my teachers and my classmates and my friends that you have to be kind to yourself. You know, I know that I'm not going to always meet every expectation, but I'm going to come out swinging and I'm going to keep trying. And every day I'm going to wake up and I'm going to look at my schedule and I'm going to say, hey, I'm going to try again, right? So why not, right? Okay. So I start my days off usually around, I say I wake up between 5 and 7, depending on the day, depending on the night that I had. Again, I struggle with sleep. So if I'm able to catch some Z's, I'll probably wake up a little bit earlier. So the first thing that I try to do when I wake up is not go straight to my phone, because that is my biggest go-to, right? As is true for most of us, no me juzguen, because I see you reaching for your phone as soon as you open your eyes. Don't play with me, okay? No, seriously. I have really had to make it, because I have social media and the business and everything on my phone and people that I talk to. Of course, the first thing I want to do is reach out and see what's going on in the world. However, I have quickly learned on this journey that no, I need to take a moment for myself when I first wake up. I learned when I did biology last fall and anatomy, that our brain, yeah, we wake up, but our brains take a little bit to catch up, okay? You got to give yourself a little bit of a break and be kind to yourself. Wake up, be grateful that you're awake. A lot of people didn't make it, you know? And push through your morning, right? So I remember I used to wake up, the first thing I do is go straight to the cafetera. And I'm not gonna lie to y'all, I love my 1 cup of coffee a day. I drink my mushroom coffee, sometimes some Folgers. If I can get a Wawa coffee, I'm even happier. However, you know, I've learned a few things studying Ayurveda about how I could change my morning routine. One of the first things that I like to do when I wake up is say a prayer and do my meditation. Now, I do different meditations. I do Reiki, I do transcendental meditation. So I usually start with the transcendental meditation, and that's a beautiful way to remind your nervous system that it doesn't have to be on hyper awareness as soon as you wake up. I found that TM, which is the transcendental meditation, is an amazing tool that I have that basically it's you meditate 2 times a day. So what you do when you practice TM is you meditate for 20 minutes twice a day with a mantra that is gifted to you. As you practice this mantra, your nervous system starts to relax, your brain starts to calm down. The best way that it was explained to me and that I understood it, it's imagining that your mind is like the ocean. The waves are your thoughts, right? And as you're sinking down to the bottom of the ocean, as you relax your nervous system, you're going to have those waves crashing. And that's fine. That's normal. We all have thoughts. And you're going to start releasing the air bubbles. And those are going to be the sporadic thoughts that you get once in a while. Because your mind is going to wander. It's not used to being calm. It's not used to the silence. A lot of people are afraid of the silence. So as you start to release all that stress and those thoughts, your nervous system gets this beautiful chance to regenerate, and it's a good way to start your day. If you want to find out more about transcendental meditation, there's actually a website. It's called www.tsandtommary.org, tm.org. I love this website. I use it every single day. They give you lessons. They really break it down for you further if you're interested. Um, Again, I have found it a blessing in my life as someone who struggles with fibromyalgia. I have found that for me, my nervous system being on fire all the time and on overdrive all the time, the medications didn't do it for me. And yes, I have other tools that I use as far as, I have creams and different things of that nature that I use for my aches and pains. But being able to have this tool to calm down my nervous system when I need it the most has been absolutely life-changing for me. I make sure that I practice what I preach. Am I able to do it twice a day, every day? Honestly, I feel as though I should have no excuse. However, I am human just like you. And there's days that I miss meditation. There's days that I don't do two of them and I just do one. However, what I have found through my experience and as I look back in my schedules, my journals and everything is when I'm paying attention to myself and I'm really doing the work and saying, you know what, self, hoy me voy a despertar y no voy a mirar el teléfono. I'm going to practice what I preach and I'm going to do my prayer and meditation first. Those are the days that I feel the best. So kick myself in the butt when I don't do it, because on the days that I don't do it, I can literally feel the difference in my mind and body and the way that I go throughout my day. So again, it's a tool that I found works for me. Just because something works for me doesn't mean that it's gonna work for you. However, if you want my opinion, it's highly suggested. And as well as doing the TM, I always take some time to do some Reiki meditation. I am a Reiki master, doing different meditations to keep healing and keep moving the energy and sending out good love and light energy out there too to the world and really raising that vibration for myself. I find that also helps me, because I always say, prayer is talking to God, meditation is shutting up and listening. When I can silence the craziness of the world around me, even if it's just for 5 minutes a day, when I can get down into myself, my root, my soul, and really pay attention to the message that's supposed to come to me in that day from Spirit, from God, and I take that time to meditate on it and think about it, write about it, those are the things that always inspire me. So again, highly recommended. If you are looking for some inspiración en tu vida, I highly recommend it. So one of the practices that I use also in the morning. Okay, hold on. Time out. I also do one or two things after I do my meditation. I either go for a walk or I do some very light, what is called yin yoga, which is very light stretches for people with chronic illness. I either do one or the other. And on the days that I don't do them, muchacho, I feel the difference. As you know, struggling with chronic illness, the longer you lay still, the stiffer your body is going to become. I know we've all had those days where we don't want to get out of bed. However, when we finally manage to get up, our body is stiff. It hurts. Keeping that movement going in your body is so important, guys. Again, in the anatomy class, we learned about how, one example I'll give you guys, your lymph nodes. Everybody knows you have lymph nodes, but what do? Those are like little pockets that just help protect you. They filter stuff, they clean stuff, and they keep your body healthy. Because in our body, we have a clear liquid called lymph. And that liquid is basically gold in our body, right? It can keep us healthy. Think of it as like oil, right? It's slick and it's something that keeps your body going. It keeps your sinuses clean. But if you're having sinus problems, you're going to feel like, sometimes I get like little bumps in the back of my ears. My lymph nodes are swollen. Or if I wear fake jewelry, you can definitely feel the difference. I don't know if it happens for you, but it happens for me. So I'm just a little oversharing. That lymph liquid in our system does not have a pump in the way that our blood has our heart to pump it. This liquid only moves when you move. So, if you're laying around all day and you're not focusing on different ways to move this liquid, it becomes stagnant and it starts to create disease. Y eso es lo que no queremos, mujeres, okay? So, this is my number 2 favorite thing of studying Ayurveda. Again, Ayurveda is an old Indian tradition that's over 4,000 years old, and it is the study of science with consciousness. And it's an amazing system of medicine that emphasizes balance and wellness. So the first thing that was recommended to me, remember guys, I'm telling you, when I started doing this, I started with one thing at a time. When I left MIU last summer, I was given a list of many different things that I should do differently according to my body type and what I was going through. And although all those things were absolutely magnificent and correct, when I looked at that list, I became completely overwhelmed. I didn't know where to start. I didn't know what to do with myself. I was like, holy camole, I need to change my whole entire life. Lucky for me, I had just had the stem cell treatment. So I was already on a really, really strict diet. So it wasn't that hard to transition over to a much healthier diet. The diets that are given to you are according to your body type. So the one that they gave me, I actually put it into practice and it really helped. It helped my digestive system. It helped me feel better throughout the day. It was amazing. So one of the second favorite thing that I learned while I was there was Abhyanga. Abhyanga is a form of Ayurvedic oil massage that involves like a rhythmic application. They massage you with this beautiful, amazing warm oil. These massages move the toxins in your body. They get the gunk out. The oils re-nourish your skin. Your skin is the largest organ of your body. So these oils help nourish you and help get rid of the bad stuff, right? Let's leave it at that. They told me, yeah, you can do this for yourself every morning. I don't do it every day. If I could, I would. If I could, I would. However, la vida no es así. So every time I get a chance, I get some, when you say Ayurvedic oil, what do you mean, right? So you can use different things. It really depends on your body type and what's good for yourself. But some of those oils include like sesame oil, coconut oil, mustard oil. I highly suggest that you talk to your holistic practitioner, talk to your doctor. I did a lot of research for myself in school about what was the best for my body system. And for me, it's sesame oil. I need to get rid of a lot of the toxins. However, sesame oil can be a little strong for people. And I'm lucky enough that I'm home, so I can take care of myself in a different way than most people would be able to. So I highly suggest that you really look into it, talk to, someone that knows a little bit about this, get some opinions. But at the end of the day, the choice is yours, okay? Don't blame me. The choice. No, I'm just kidding. And I say that because as you're expressing toxins, you're going to feel differently. You're going to probably break out. Your body's going to do stuff because it's going to want to move the stuff that's been sitting there. It's good to work with someone who has experience and someone who has knowledge on these things as you move forward. And if you need some advice and you need some tips, hit a girl up. I got people you could talk to. I got advice for you. Whatever you want to do, you let me know. Okay, thank you. So, how is it performed? Okay, so you take the oil, you make sure that it's nice and warm, right? And you gently start to massage yourself. You start from the top of your head. And again, depending on the oil that you're using, please be smart and be careful. No sean sanganas or sanganos, okay? Put a towel on the floor so you don't fall. You're messing with oil. Be careful in the bathtub. Don't slip. You have to be very careful when you do this, please. Because I know I was a hotmessexpress.com, but I got through it. So I have faith in you too, okay? So you take the oil. And you're going to start from the top of your head and you're going to slowly massage. You're going to do your face. You're just going to nourish your skin and all of yourself in this oil. And please look this up. I mean, it's a quick YouTube search where you can see and follow and practice, or you can take a class on it if that's what floats your boat. However, you're massaging yourself for about 15 minutes to whatever time amount that you want. Honestly, it's up to like about an hour, depending on your needs. Now, for me, I take about half an hour. I have very long hair, and I also have psoriasis on my scalp. So I take the time to really get into my scalp, get into my neck, into my stiff muscles. I do my face, my shoulders, and you get the picture. And you just want to be kind to your body. I like to play either calming music or morning affirmations, Bible verses, whatever it is that I need to play, whatever mood I'm in for the day. And I like to play that, and I'll sit there and I'll sit in my massage and my oil for a little bit. This is why I wake up so early, guys. Okay, this is why. But when I can, I do this, and I gotta say, it's amazing for the skin. It's amazing for the body. It's amazing for yourself. You're giving yourself that self-love and care that you deserve. Okay, mama? Give yourself a break. You took care of the kids. You took care of yourself. You took care of your friends. You took care of tia, tío, everybody. You cooked dinner. You put everything away. You cleaned. Take this time for yourself, a time where you can spoil yourself, because that's exactly what it feels like. I promise you. Okay, so once you take your time, you're going to want to, take a shower, take it off. I find that with the oils, different things that help me like get it out my hair is like I like to use Ayurvedic or natural conditioners and shampoos, and I like the ones that have the apple cider vinegar in it, because it really helps get the excess oil off. And then I go about my day, right? I come out. The next thing on my schedule would be to eat something, because child, a girl be hungry. I really, I do. I get hungry. By this time, I have been up. I've drank my water. Of course, I should have said that the first thing you want to do when you wake up and get out of bed is please brush your teeth. Not just because it's nasty if you don't, but also because you don't want that bacteria sitting in your mouth. So I actually have caught myself when I get up to like do my morning pee, because estamos vieja, okay, let's be honest. I get up sometimes 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning because I need to use the restroom. So while I'm in there, I brush my teeth to get, seriously though, you don't want to sit there and have that stuff, just that bacteria in your mouth. You want to get rid of that. And another thing that I do is I gargle coconut oil. It helps soothe the tonsils, helps soothe the throat. And again, it's helping you heal from the inside out. Again, do what is good according to your body and what you can take and what is recommended for you. We are all different. This is what works for me. But again, you have to be adaptable, because I don't get to do all of these things every single day. If I could, I would. So if you don't have time to do 15 minutes a day, well then do 10 minutes, do 5 minutes, but give yourself the chance to give yourself that gift, right? Then usually I'll try to eat a small breakfast. I'm not a big breakfast person. I never really have been. However, I have had some mornings where I get really hungry. So, especially when I'm processing and I'm getting everything out, like I want to make sure I'm giving my body what it needs. So usually I'll start, of course, con un café. I do like my mushroom coffee. I do like my little Folgers in the morning, like I said before. So I have allowed myself 1 cup of coffee a day. And I find that works for me. I have an ulcer in the mouth of my stomach that I don't like to play with, okay? And when I do these things like gargle the coconut oil and I eat healthier and I'm taking better care of myself, I don't have to worry about, I can't drink this because I'm going to get sick. That's not a good feeling. I don't like that feeling. I don't like feeling that feeling. So taking these small little steps to really push myself and help my body to push myself to nourish my body, I should say. Doing these things for myself really, it makes me feel proud. And if you get to accomplish things like this too, please look at yourself and feel proud of yourself. Even if it's little changes, even if it's just, I'm going to drink water first thing in the morning, un vaso de agua, and I'm going to get up and at least try to do that. Even if that's all you do in this week, I'm proud of you, because it's not easy. I know. Okay. So then after I eat something, that's usually when I get my chores done. My work, social media work, appointments I have to make. I usually make my doctor's appointments between this time. This is usually between 10 a.m. and 12 p.m. This is my 2 hours to get done what I gotta get done for the day. Any phone calls, bill paying, all that stuff, right? Because estamos viejas. No, I'm just kidding. We're adults. We gotta take care of business. And I find that if I don't give myself the appropriate amount of time, I get very overwhelmed when it comes to, being a single mom and making sure my kids are getting to their appointments and making sure that the things that I have to take care of are getting taken care of. So it's very important to give yourself that chance, because it's very easy to get lost in the not feeling goodness of chronic and mental illness. So give yourself the chance and do what you can do. Remember that I said that, because I'm talking to myself too. Do what you can do. Don't be hard on yourself. I know a lot of times I have to make some phone calls that take forever and they are draining, and I have to tell myself, wait, I need a timeout. I need to go meditate and reorganize my energy here, because being an adult is overwhelming, guys. I'm sorry. Hate to break the news. It can be very overwhelming, okay? But now we have tools, right? So we're going to allow ourselves at least 2 hours a day. My biggest meal of the day is always lunch. I honestly feel like I've always been this way, not knowing that I was, but when I learned through Ayurveda why, it made a lot of sense. So I wanted to share that with you guys. In Ayurveda and in most science, it is believed that the middle of the day is the sun's highest point. And remember, we are made out of the 5 elements, which is water, earth, space, air, and fire, right? So fire representing the sun. When the sun is at its highest point of the day, that is when the fire in our digestive system works the most. Does that make sense? Think about it. As the sun is the fire, it's what helps things grow, it's what helps things process and move, and how the plants grow and then dry out and then come back, and all that beautifulness, right? It's the same thing with our bodies. We're part of nature. So, right, when the sun is at its highest point, that is when your digestive system is working or able to work the hardest. So for someone like myself who has gastric paresis and does not have a good digestive system, having a bigger meal around 12 o'clock rather than at dinner or late at night is important, because that's when our systems is going to work the best. Okay, does that make sense now? I hope it does. So I try to make sure as best as I can throughout a busy day that I eat a bigger meal at lunch and give my body the chance to work at its best potential, right? From there, I'm a full-time student of, again, Maharashi International University, and I study not just Ayurveda, but also positive psychology. This is between 1 p.m. to 5 p.m. is the time that I have set aside throughout my day to do my work. And I absolutely love this school. I will repeat this all the time, because this is a consciousness-based education school. Therefore, they really care about you as a person, how you're doing. Are you really learning what we're talking about here, or are you just like flying through school? Like, these people genuinely care about you and about your journey and about your experiences. I make sure I dedicate this time to my education because, one, I am learning things that are helping change my own life and hopefully the life of those that I love. And this is important to me. However, I am, again, someone with ADHD and chronic illness. And when I'm having a bad day, sometimes I don't want to do school. It is hard. However, it helps that I love what I'm learning, and I have tried to change my mindset. When I was younger, I really sucked at school. I thought I was the worst student in the world. I had bad grades. However, back then, I didn't have these tools. I didn't understand that I was autistic. I didn't understand that I had ADHD. No one talked about these kind of things in the 90s. So, all that extraness that I had back then, I when I became a college student, I really doubted myself. And what I've learned now is that I just had to learn in a different way. And that is true for so many people. Again, keeping this schedule is what helps me focus on the things that I love. And I love what I'm learning. I love sharing these things with you guys. So, taking this time for myself is like a treat. And I really hope that when you're doing the things that you love, that it feels like that for you. Do things that make you feel that way. Like, learn things that you love. Don't stay stagnant. I mean, it's real easy to sit in front of that TV for hours. Trust me, I know. Because you put Bridgerton on for me and I'm stuck for a long time. So I get it. Okay? I get it. However, you can't always be stuck like that, okay? You got to take time to focus on yourself. If you're not doing things like school, maybe a hobby, maybe volunteering, maybe reading the Bible, maybe reading a new book, maybe learning something new. Life is about education and learning and growing, and I find that that's what helps me stay positive and keep moving. So I highly suggest it. Okay, so between 5 and 6 is usually around the time I make dinner. Both of my babies go to school and work, so I try to make sure I have dinner made for them. If not, we have leftovers, even though it's not highly suggested, especially people with digestive systems like mine. However, I try to make sure that dinner is before 6 p.m. Why? Because 6 p.m. is the latest time that your digestive system is going to work the best. I hope I made that make sense. It's your digestive system is working again. It knows it's time to eat. And sometimes we skip meals and we eat later. However, we miss that window of when your digestive system is going to work the best for you. And for my dinners, I always eat less again than my lunch. That's because as the rest of the day settles down, I don't want my body to have to work in overdrive because I ate too much, when it should be working on, hey, her back was killing her today. Let's focus whatever energy she has left on helping her feel better with that. Because as you're sleeping, your body is working for you, right? And our body is a beautiful vessel that knows what to do, but we have to give it that opportunity to do it. So for myself, I try not to eat a big meal. I mean, sometimes I have snacks, but I gotta watch what I eat and what I do. And another thing that I like to do is after dinner around 6 or 7, maybe as late as 8 when the sun is out longer, I like to go for a walk, even if it's 10 minutes, just to get my system moving. Again, those lymph nodes moving, that lymph juice, get it moving, and my digestive system moving. And I've actually been able to eat more lately and still lose weight because I'm getting up and moving. And this time last year I could barely walk. So being able to be grateful for the fact that I can get up and go for a walk if I feel like it on a good day, then that's what I'm going to do. Usually I'll end my night with a hot shower to relax my body, my system, my muscles from everything that I've done throughout the day. I love a good Epsom salt bath. Okay? Again, giving myself the chance and opportunity to relax. You don't got to do what I do. If you want to give yourself time to watch your favorite show, do that. You want to give yourself time to read a good book, do that. I mean, you got to figure out what works for you. For myself, what works out is not watching TV before bed or shows before bed, because it actually, my ADHD goes off. I want to know more. My brain starts ticking, and my brain is not going to be able to shut down and rest the way it's supposed to. So if I follow my schedule, I know that if I take a hot shower, my body's going to relax, right? If I do a meditation, my nervous system is going to relax. If I put some soothing music on and I like having my humidifier with some essential oils, and I'll light an incense, and I'll set the mood for myself to completely just relax and catch my breath. Then I'm able to sleep better. I'm able to really give my body the break that it needs and be adaptable. Honestly, trying to get to bed at a good time is really important. And I'm not perfect. Like I said, I still struggle with this one. I flip and I flop and I turn and I go here and there. But I know that it's something that I want to focus on, and finding different tools to help me do that is vitally important. You can do the things that I do. You can do things like play white noise. You can take things, natural supplements, teas. You can speak to your medical provider, whatever it is you need to do. But there's different things that you can do to help you get there, to help you get to a different place and help you not feel stuck in an energy that you don't want to be stuck in. Because isn't that why we're here right now? To learn how to advocate for ourselves. Be kind to yourself as you start to really want to make changes in your life. And again, start small. Do whatever it is that you can do. Be proud of yourself. Reward yourself. Oh my God, I had this amazing life coach who reminded me when I accomplished something, I was allowed to reward myself. And I would take like a piece of chocolate, just a little corner of a piece of chocolate, because I'm diabetic, can't have too much of that, you know what I'm saying? Pero a mí me encanta el chocolate. Me encanta, me encanta, me encanta. So I would keep a little bar of chocolate, and whenever I would like accomplish a homework goal or something like that, I would break that little piece of chocolate off, and I would eat it, and I would enjoy it, and I would be proud of myself. And I said, you know what, me, good job. Another thing that she taught me was buy yourself a little gift. So what I would do was get like fidget toys. I like the bracelets and different things like that. I find that as I'm studying, as I'm reading, as I'm watching the videos and doing my homework and working on different ideas, having those little fidget toys is fire. It really helps me a lot. So if you're doing things like that, studying and things like that, I highly, highly recommend it. Remembering to focus on yourself and grounding your energy is going to be the biggest key in finding the perfect balance of what you need in your own life. Again, we're all different. What I need may be different from what you need. And creating a schedule like this, and this is why I went over what my schedule looks like, because I want you guys to have an idea of different things that you can do in your own schedule. I mean, I don't work a full-time 9-to-5 job. However, you can do different things. You can do things for yourself in your job to schedule how your day is going to look for yourself. And what do I want to do after I get off of work? Or what do I want to do in the morning before I go to work? Or what time do I have off so that I can do these things for myself? Having an idea of what your day looks like and actually recording it. Again, it is important to recognize your own patterns. Getting an idea of it helps you realize things about yourself. And again, for me, it was like, ooh, I'm repeating cycles I don't want to keep repeating, because I'm seeing here that I'm doing this every day and I'm getting sick this much after it. And my different symptoms are showing up here, and then I'm not eating correctly, and I'm looking at how it's affecting me in every area of my life. And as I began to say, no, I don't want to do that anymore, advocate for what I wanted and what I needed, I started to make the changes for myself because I loved myself, because I knew I deserved it, because I knew that as a divine human, I had the right to start living a life that I was proud of. And I want the same thing for all of you guys. And that's why I'm here today. So again, hagan lo que puedan hacer. Figure out the different things that work for you. And be kind to yourself. That's my message, guys. That's my message to you today. And I feel like es un mensaje bonito, ¿no? Y la verdad es que nosotras, las latinas, us mothers, daughters, sisters, cousins, uncles, aunts, whoever you are, we hear these messages and we know that all these things will help, but what is it that blocks us from actually doing it? Y muchas veces, esas mismas cosas, they're the things that you don't like. Those very things that we want to change are the very things that block us. A lot of times, to the fact that you're not taking care of yourself in the way that you're supposed to. It has become a rare concept to pay attention to yourself and to your body and to what you need and what you want. And we get lost in the different ways of thinking that we were raised with or that we were told we needed to think. And a lot of times we forget to think for ourselves. And that's my challenge for you this week. Think for yourself. What can you do for yourself to make your week better? What can you do to really start to learn to enjoy your life? Now, for my favorite part of this podcast, I went ahead and pulled 2 oracle cards. The reason I say that this is my favorite part is because Spirit never fails to amaze me. And as I just pulled both of these cards, and when I pull the cards, I look at them, I feel them, I get inspired by them. And I also read the message. Each deck comes with a little book with a little message, kind of like chicken noodle soup of the soul books that I used to read as a young Christian girl. I would open up the book, and for some reason what I was reading always had something to do with what was going on in my day that day. And the same thing happens to me with the oracle cards. Spirit always delivers the most beautiful messages. And today I'm reading from the Earth Warriors Oracle by Alana Fairchild, which is my favorite deck. And also from the Awake Inner Wisdom cards, which is also a very beautiful deck. And each little card just has a little picture, kind of like loteria, and a little message that comes with it. And basically what I do is I read the message. And as I was reading the message, it never fails to amaze me how it had everything to do with exactly everything that we just spoke about. So the card that came out of the Earth Warriors Oracle is card number 12, Amawata, Sage of Higher Knowledge. And this card is beautiful, has beautiful imagery on it. I don't know if I'll be able to put this. I might even post this on my Instagram so you guys can get the imagery of what it looks like. If you don't know what that is, it's at Nati_H.E.A.L.S. Nati Okay. So the message here is Sage of Higher Knowledge. Seek what feels true, even beyond the logical. If something doesn't feel right, challenge it and dig deeper. Educate and inform yourself on matters of importance to you. Trust that your mind is strong and bright enough to do this. Enhance your self-esteem by reaching for information and trusting your intuition to help you discern what is useful and true. Have faith in your own mental abilities. If others have criticized you or made you feel inadequate in understanding, cast that all off as part of the past and not relevant to you now. You will become immune to manipulation by others, who may be convincing but not necessarily accurate or helpful. Trust the power of your mind to receive and recognize the answers that you need. You will find your way. And then it goes on to say, like, in a reading, if you get this card, it's attest all options, advice, research, and alleged facts according to your own intuition and instinct. And honestly, that is a major part of being your own biggest advocate. You gotta figure out what's right for you and what sits right in your soul, what sits right, what makes you happy, and not in a selfish way, like I don't care about the world. Because the truth is, when you have chronic and mental illness, you have to remember that you cannot give to others what you're not giving to yourself, baby. Tú eres importante también. Te tienes que cuidar. Especially if you have people that you love, that you want to be there for, that you want to build with. you have to take care of yourself. All right, so from the Awake Inner Wisdom cards, I pulled out this beautiful card, and it says intent. It's absolutely stunning. It looks like a pearl in the ocean with waves and different types of coral. It's really pretty. It's really nice. Okay, let's read it together. So it says intent. Find your pearl in life. Manifest a swirl of love to flow with always. Go within to discover your pearl, your wisdom. Let it be a guiding force that leads you to the desire of your intent. Manifesting thoughts into actions and visceral experiences is a part of a great journey. We do this every day, sometimes on an unconscious level. Life can be so sweet when you are consciously aware of what you truly desire and trust in a higher power to be your guide. What is your purpose, your mission in this moment, in this great spectrum of existence? Envision it and flow towards it. I mean, come on, guys. Be your own biggest advocate, okay? Yes, there's people like me who will advocate for you. Like, I worked as a family advocate in New Jersey before I fractured my spine, and I absolutely loved this job because my job was to teach the people I was working with how to fight for themselves, right? And seriously, that's what I'm here for, guys. I wanted to bring to you another one of those letters that I found myself writing in the middle of the night. And once again, I feel like this was not just a message for me, but a message for you as well. Mija, I want you to know that I'm proud of you. Here we are, and we made it through another week. You struggled. You really struggled this week, but that's okay. What matters now is that you made it out of it. The path of a warrior is never easy, especially when you're looking for healing. I want you to know that there is hope in the pain, that the answers to your healing lie within you, in your heart and in your spirit. Healing is about detoxing from all the poisonous things in your life, all the toxins that infect you physically, mentally, and especially spiritually. And it starts by loving you. All right, guys. Los amo. I hope you all have a great week. I hope to meet you here again next week. And keep your head up. I know that it's hard, but you got this. Los amo. Bye.